Mindsetters, welcome to your Grade 11 Life Sciences show. Today we have a special revision lesson on the biodiversity of microorganisms and plants. We have selected highlights of lessons shown earlier in the term to help you revise Term 1's work. Please post all your questions and comments on our Facebook page on facebook.com/LearnExtra or on Twitter @LearnExtra so we can help you with your revision. Don't forget to download today's show notes on learn.mindset.co.za or click on the link on our Facebook page. Now it's time to get on with our lesson.
I have two bugs, right? One hiding behind the corner, and another one comes walking across, and as he comes across, he rips out this thing, and he goes, psst, hey? Do you want to be a superbug? Right, simple. This is what they'll give you. Do you want to be a superbug? Stick this into your genome, okay? Stick this into your genome, and even penicillin won't be able to harm you. That's all it is. That's quite cool, right? He's not trying to shoot him, right? There's specific things there. You need to look at this picture very carefully. Okay, now, this is actually, I'm going to give it to you now already. This is actually happening in a hospital, which is quite strange, but it's happening in a hospital. Okay, so let's have a look at the first question. What does the term, here we go, what does the term superbug mean? Okay, why would they use superbug? The reason why they've put this in there, they're trying to make you think. They don't want to give the answer away. So what they've done is they've said, this bug must be able to become like Superman. And what is Superman, for example? Can you do anything? What is so special about Superman?
Has superpowers.
Superpowers. And no matter how much you hit him with an aeroplane, or with a brick wall.
Superman carries the airplane.
Exactly. Except for me, of course, right? This is...
Yeah, no, you...
Me, I'd take Superman out. But Superman cannot be killed. Okay? So, what does a superbug mean? It means he is resistant to antibiotics, right? If you have a look at it, resistant to penicillin. Okay, even penicillin can't harm him because what kills bacteria? Our penicillin and our, what are those things called? They antibiotics. That's why we're given it. So, is this a virus or a bacteria, by the way? Okay, it is a bacteria, not a virus. Next one. What does the term antibiotic resistance mean? So they've even given you, right? They've even given you this whole thing. They've told you what it is. And I've explained it. So what it is that they take this DNA, right? He's taken this DNA. And you need this DNA, and he sticks it in and he fixes his DNA. He uses this DNA to make him stronger. So he takes a DNA, he fixes his genome or his DNA, and he makes a bug that is resistant to the antibiotics. Right, so for example, an antibiotic comes along, I haven't got the resistance, and it kills me. Eats me up, it does what it needs to, right? When it comes down to this new bug and I become the superbug, the antibiotics and everything come to me, and he looks at him and he says, is it? Huh? Who do you think you are? Right? Oh, rugby player, right? You're running and you're giving it horns, right? And the rugby player comes and he tackles you. You out. That's it. When the resistance, antibiotic resistant drug, what happens? The runner player, the bacteria runs, and the defender comes and he, bam, off you go, and he runs on. Hey? What do you think, Looney? It like pushes him out the way. You are nothing. I'm stronger. That is a big problem. So what do we have to do? Get bigger, stronger defenders. Okay, so resistant, antibiotic resistance means it cannot be harmed. Okay, it cannot be harmed by antibiotics. Okay, can't, hey. Let's get the eraser out here because we know what it's like. There it is. Can't be harmed by I'm not going to write the whole word, antibiotics. Right, can't be harmed by antibiotics because it has become immune to it. It's taken that DNA and it's changed its DNA. Okay, which is quite cool. Next one. Explain why the bacteria appears to be slimy. Did you see it slimy, Looney?
What's slimy?
They said, explain to me, what do you think? Why do you think the bacteria is slimy? Why do you? It does look slimy, doesn't it?
Bacteria looks slimy.
Yeah, oh, look at it. It's like a snail.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, this thing.
Oh.
What did you think you were looking at?
Talking about. Yeah, it does, because it's like, and then look, it's leaving those slimy things behind it.
Yeah, like a snail trail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, why is the bacteria slimy? Right? That's a good question. Okay. Now, let me explain that to you. It's quite cool. Bacteria have got the slimy cover around it to protect it. Okay? It's there for protection, especially for protection. And that's why in the picture it looks slimy. So what is a slimy cover for? It's for protection. So it does seem slimy because it needs protection. Okay? It needs the protection. And that's what the slimy covering does over this bacteria. Okay, that's lekker. You know what? I actually like bacteria because they're so small and they're different. Right? They're just not very. They're simple, but they're not. Okay. Now, what is the one bacteria handing over the other? What is he handing over to the other? What is the one bacterium handing over to the other? Look at this. There it is. What's he giving? Okay, that is something that you are going to learn about next year. I'm sure you are going to know about this year. It's called a double helix, right? That's cool. It's a double helix, just for later on in life, right? It is a DNA strand. So if we bring this down, what is he handing over? It's a DNA strand. What he wants to do is he wants to take his DNA. Remember, DNA gives you your mother and father's characteristics, right? Just to put it nice and easy. And he's giving them new characteristics so that he's stronger, right? This reminds me of, what does this remind you of, Looney? Can you think?
DNA.
Where he's giving him a new DNA strand to become stronger and harder and more powerful. Come on, it's a good thing. He does this thingy, and then he swings from building to building.
Spider-Man.
Why Spider-Man?
Because Spider-Man goes, and then he's.
Yeah, but how did he become Spider-Man?
Oh, because he got
He thingy?
bit-
No.
bitten. You see, I'm looking for the word. He got bitten by a spider in that lab
Very
thingy.
nice.
Yeah.
So if you had a look at it, the bitten by the spider part is changing the DNA. The spider put a bit of his DNA in. That's why he became Spider-Man. Okay, that's exactly what's happening here. He's changing the DNA of it. Can you see how it's happening? And he gets a changing in the DNA, which makes him stronger and faster and harder. Okay, that's exactly what's going to happen here to this bacteria. Okay, now the next one. What are the three usually what movements, in other words, does bacteria go through? What are the three? It is three. Yes. What are the three movements that they go through? These are quite cool. How does it move? Okay. It goes through three types of movements. Okay. The first one, I'm going to give you, it's nice and easy. It's spiral. Remember, it takes a tail and it spirals it like this, like a propeller. You know, like a motor? Like if you go on a boat, they've got the propeller that spins like this, right? That's the first one, spiral. Okay. Then they've got another one, which is crawl. Okay, so they've got those little cilia on the side of them, and they pull it like this. So they've got it pulls and crawls across the other one. And the last one they got Pseudopodia. Can you remember it? And what Pseudopodia is quite cool, right? So I'm gonna initial them here quickly, just so that we remember them. It's spiral, right? It's crawl, and the last one is Pseudopodia. Yes, it's a P. Okay, so it really is. So those are the three movements. Now, spiral, it's very simple. Boat's motor, it spins in a circle, and as it's spinning, it turns it away. Right. The next one is crawl. It's got these little legs and things on the side, and each one pushes it forward. Well, I can't go higher. Right. So if I bend down a bit, and it pushes it like this. You understand? On my toes. That's the crawl. And the last one is Pseudopodia, and I wish I could do that. Hey, Looney? Pseudopodia is quite cool. So it's got it here, and what happens is it extends the cytoplasm out, right? And as it gets there, now it starts moving its inner stuff into this arm. The arm gets fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. My legs and everything get thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And when I get to that side, I pop out being solid again. Hey, how cool is that?
No.
Think about it. I could move under a door then.
Oh, okay.
Hey?
Yeah, that's
Can you
cool.
see what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
You put your arms underneath there, and as you get to the grows into you out there, and this one sinks down. Can you picture what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right? That's how it actually moves. How cool is that?
That's cool.
Hey, I'd love that. I'd never be locked out of my house. Hey, they can do what they want. I'm in.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the cool ones. Next one. The cartoon has indicated that bacteria can be found in hospitals, which I did tell you it's a hospital, right? Okay, cool. So it can be found in hospitals. How can we prevent this from happening? Come on, think about it carefully. How do we prevent bacteria from getting stronger and better in the hospitals? What do you think, Looney? What would we do to keep bacteria out of the hospitals? Come, think of something.
Antibacterial?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. Sterilize.
Yes.
There's that big word. You
Okay.
sterilize everything, right? And anything that is infected, right? When they use things, they burn it because they want to kill the bacteria that's in there. Okay? We're working with sick people in that hospital. So as they're coming in, they're sick. And the bacteria is all over the place. So they've got to keep it sterilized. Because whatever they leave there can go to somebody else and get changed and mutate and stuff like that. Don't forget it. Okay? So it can happen in hospitals. How do we stop it? We sterilize the hospital. That's why hospitals have got that smell.
Yeah.
Okay? It's got the sterilized smell where they try and sterilize all the time. Okay. So what is penicillin? What is penicillin? Come, Looney, you should know this one.
It's a pill.
What it's a pill. Yes. No,
It's
an
found.
injection.
It's found. Oh, isn't it
It can
found
be a
in-
pill, it can be
yeah,
an injection.
There
Yes.
you go.
What
Hey,
is it?
It's what is it? Yes, it's an antibiotic.
That's exactly what it is. It's an antibiotic. That's all it is. Just an antibiotic. It's the one that we most commonly use, right? And if you cannot take penicillin, you wear those things on your arms or around your neck, right? And it says there you can't take penicillin, okay? Because it could kill you. If your body can't use it, then it mustn't be used. So it can kill you, okay? So if you can't use penicillin and you go to the doctor, the first thing he will say is, are you allergic to anything? He wants to know, can he give you penicillin? Okay, very important. Next one. Bring it down. What does penicillin do? Okay, remember, penicillin kills the bug, right? It kills the bacteria. It breaks it. It stops it from breeding as well. Okay, so it kills the bacteria. And what I want from you is I want to know what the process is of killing the bacteria. And somebody's got to send me the answer on Facebook or Twitter. Am I right? I want to hear that. Okay, last one. Not all bacteria are pathogens. What? Okay. What other forms of bacteria can we find? Not all of them are pathogens. What other type of bacteria can we find? Those are the two questions I want you to answer. And I want you to send it to me, please, as quick as you can. Right? I want to know what other type of bacteria can you find besides pathogens. Okay, very important. Now, next one. Next question. This is a cool question. I kept this because this is something so cool. It is a comprehension. Now, I'm not going to read the comprehension, okay? It is on the notes. What I want is I'm going to go through it slightly. Okay, so what they're saying is the making of modern beer. Hey? Making of modern beer. You check all the older guys sitting up now.
Yeah,
listening?
yeah,
How
yeah.
can we do this?
What is that?
Science is cool. Right. So what they're saying in here is very simple. When beer is made, you use barley, and then you've got the heat, and you got to put it a certain heat, then you got to put certain roots in, and this is the real thing, right? And then what you do is you make sure the barley germinates. Once it's germinate, you add in, you pass it through, a roller and crack them open, right? Then you need to put it into hot water, right? You mush it up, it makes sugar and amino acid grains. It's just the whole process of it. Okay, so it's the nicest part of it. Then, of course, they dry hops, they put it in, they add it for flavor. It's got to be in there. Then, bring it down, fermentation, they add yeast. Very important thing, they add yeast, right? And what happens with the yeast is it takes sugar and it goes through this whole plant, this whole process, right? I don't want to mention the process. It goes through a whole process, and with that process, it gives off ethanol and carbon dioxide, right? And there it is. Let me just check. Carbon dioxide, right? And it becomes dry, like dry. You put it aside, and it becomes cool. Now, what we do, conditioning. The beer should have an alcohol content of 4% to 8%. Ethanol, okay? That is exactly what they make. Okay, so it's got to have alcohol and ethanol, ethanol as the alcohol. Right, so here we go. First question. This is awesome. I thought this was cool because I'm sure you guys would enjoy it. Name the phylum to which yeast belongs. Not once did I mention it, did I? Hey? Not one. Did I mention it?
No.
And I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, it's not in that whole comprehension. Because I looked. And that's not very nice, eh? Okay. The phylum, remember, kingdom is different to phylum. The phylum that we need is Microphyte. Oh, gee, that's terrible. Let me erase that.
Yes.
And get it back to a pen. Microphyta. Okay, it's microphyta. That's what it is. Next one. What is the nutrition of fungi? It is what does fungi do? It makes its own food. So it's a heterotroph. Just going to put in there. It's heterotrophic, right? Then, in the above process, name the substrate that yeast uses to form food, right? Well, uses for food. What it does. Yeast is so cool, right? You stick it in, and they put in barley at the top. Can you remember they put in barley? And barley germinates, and when it germinates, it's a plant. It creates sugar, and it creates oxygen. We're cool. Now we chuck in the yeast, right? Once it's chucked in, this yeast chills around and says, ooh, there's sugar, brother. Right? And it takes that sugar for food, and it goes through anaerobic respiration, it gives off alcohol, and it gives off carbon dioxide. Right? So that's its job. That's what it uses for. Right? Let's go through. Why do you think that barley is allowed to germinate? Maybe I should read the questions before I tell you all the answers. Hey, what do you think?
Yes.
Why do you think it needs to germinate? What significance does this have for the yeast later on in the process? I just told you. Barley is a plant, right? So it goes through photosynthesis and it makes sugar. And the sugar is very important for the yeast because that's what it uses to create food, right? That's the nice way. Then you get, what are the byproducts of yeast nutrition? Just told you. If it goes through anaerobic respiration, it's going to give off carbon dioxide. So we know it's CO2, right? And if you go through anaerobic respiration, I mean us, if we go through anaerobic respiration, we make lactic acid. When the plants go through it, it makes ethanol. Remember, ethanol. Ethanol. It's cool. It's an alcohol, right? It goes in that's what makes it alcoholic. It's the ethanol in it. Right. And then, in your own words, what does antimicrobial mean? It's very simple. Anti means it doesn't allow it, and micro. Anti, what they want to do is they actually want to stop bacteria, viruses, all these things from entering there. Because if it enters there, it can destroy the beer. Okay, so that's what that word means. Okay, get rid of, stop it from happening.
Alright, Mindsetters, I hope you guys are enjoying this revision session. Remember, if you are struggling and need help, please post your question on our Facebook page or send an email to helpdesk@learnextra.co.za. Now it's time to take a quick break, so don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. I hope you are getting into the idea of revision. Please let us know how you are doing. I'd love to chat to you on the page or on Twitter. Enough of the chat, let's get back to the revision.
Questions. Okay, got some questions for you. Let's see if you can answer it. Okay, the diagram below represents the life cycle, okay, the life cycle of a bryophyte. Bryophyte, what is it? Moss. Good. Now, it's moss. That's all it is. Now, let's put it up to there. Write down the number and the name, okay? So it wants you to do two things. Wants the number and the names of two different structures that photosynthesize. Now, if you ask me, honestly, none of that photosynthesizes because it's black and white. Huh? Photosynthesizing, you got to be what color, Luni, to photosynthesize?
Green.
And she says she
Am I
doesn't
right?
listen. She's perfect.
Oh.
Right. There is two places that can photosynthesize there. First of all, this part, right? Can you see it? What is that? I will have a look at that thing because it's a plant, right? And second of all, can you see the part of the plants there? I'd have a look at that thing. Right. So I want to look at two things. First of all, I want to have a look at 1 and 9. Okay, 1 and 9. Hey, I need to go to, where's it? There we go. 1 and 9, okay, is your leaf, and 9 is your sporangium. Okay, so the sporangium, which is that part, okay, and your leaf, which is 1 over there. Okay, next question. It's nice and easy. These are very simple questions. If you start learning and you start understanding your life cycle, it becomes very easy. Okay, next question is, name the structure, there it is, name the structure, there, numbered 2, and state its function. Number 2. Wait, look here. There it is. There it is. It's these funny little white things that's coming out here. What are those called? Right? Those things are quite cool. What they do, oh, did I ask for its function? Oh, so I must give it. What they do, I'm going to give you the function, so listen carefully. What they do is they sit in the ground so that when the wind blows, they don't get thrown over, which means they anchor. And second of all, we take stuff out of the ground. In other words, it absorbs the nutrients and food. Okay? But why I didn't tell you the names is because remember I gave you this big name called thallus, right? Thallus. You know what a thallus is?
Mm-hmm. Oh, what? A
Thallus.
Thallus.
Thallus, yeah.
Thallus.
A thallus.
Never heard of that word in my life.
I said it like 10 times today. And I explained what it was. You've
No.
never heard. Yes.
Mm-mm. To me.
Yes.
Or to them.
Same thing. You know what? That's why I know you are bright. Hey, Lini.
Of course.
I've got to love you for this. You know that?
Yes.
Gotta love you. Right. This thing here, this whole plant is called a thallus because it doesn't have true roots, stems, or leaves. Can you remember that? Okay, she doesn't. Right. So I'm going to have a look at it. That is called, okay, it's called a rhizoid. Okay? The rhizoids are the ones that are anchors the plant of the moss, anchors the plant, right? And it absorbs all the nutrients, all the nutrients we need. The English is getting worse.
It's going.
It's the heat in here. With Uni in here, it's just too hot, you know? Good-looking girls like that shouldn't come in here.
Hey, Shkanjai.
Next one. Describe the role played by the parts numbered 1, 5, 7, 8. 1, 5, 7, 8. This is how you do it. 1, 5, 7, 8. You keep saying it. 1, 5, 7, 8. And it is 1, 5, 7, 8. Just so that I can show you. Right. So, let's see. Here's 1. What is 1 for? 1 is for photosynthesis. Remember, it's green. It's a leaf. So, 1 is for photosynthesis. Makes the food. Right? 5. Where's 5? Ah, there it is. Ooh, what is that? Now remember, I spoke to you about this little plant, right? Grows in there, it's haploid, and all of a sudden it makes male gametes, right? So that it can go to the female to grow a new Sporophyte generation. Okay? So what is 5? What's its job? It is to make the male gametes. Let me just make sure that it is pointing. That's it. Number 5 is to make male gametes. Number 7 is the next one. There it is. Number 7. What is that? Number 7, okay? This is this whole structure here. Okay? Now, that, to me, is the female part of the plant, right? Of the Gametophyte generation. That's the female part of the plant. Which means, if I understand it, if I look at most plants, the female part of a plant, or let's say the male part of a plant, is your andrecium, and your female is your gynecium. Right, so that is the one. And then if I have a look at 8, it's pointing to this little thing over here, and it is called the ooh, let's see if you can get it right. Looney, what do you think number 8 is? It's a little dot inside there. You are what? Male or female?
I'm female.
Female. And what is the female part that reproduces? Don't say egg though.
Ovaries.
Not ovaries. It makes that makes the egg. It's like we make male gametes. What do you think that is?
I don't know.
If I make male gametes,
Female.
That's female what?
What did you say? What?
Gametes.
Gametes.
So it's a female. We'll teach her. Me and you will teach her something by the end of today.
You shall do that. Thank
Okay,
you.
so let's have a look. Right. There it is. Okay, number 3. Get my pen out here. Number 3. Right? Did I say what? It was 3, not. Why didn't you tell me it's 3 and not 1? You see, I'm looking like a clown. I said 1. Come on, man. It's 3. I've told you about 1 now. Number 3 is this part here. Okay? That piece there. Now, what that actually does, it encapsulates or holds on, right, the part that makes the male gametes. Okay? That is what 3 does. It protects the andrecium. Okay? So, next time, at least give me a clue that I'm looking at 3 and not 1. Come, you see what happens when you don't concentrate. Right. You can smile, it's fine. Protects the sexual organs or the male gametes. Right. That's number 3. Number 5 is the andrecium, which produces the male gametes. Remember I said that. Then we're going to get to the next one. Number 7. Archegonium, which produces the female gametes. Right? The gynecium, we can also say that, but mostly it's an Archegonium. But next one, female gametes, which you were right. Oh, she doesn't look interested today.
I am. What
Female
are you talking
gametes,
about?
which develops and eggs develop into, I said, the Sporophyte generation after fertilization. Okay? Now, let's carry on. Write down the number of the part which represents the Sporophyte generation. Let's go up here again. Now, if I have a look at this, can it be this one? There's no ways. This is just magnification of that. Okay? That is still magnification of that. Now, this piece here, have a look here. Can you see that piece there looks similar to that piece there? Can you see it? That is your Gametophyte generation, Gametophyte generation, Gametophyte generation. This here, this piece, is your Gametophyte generation. What grows on top of the Gametophyte generation? It's your Sporophyte generation. So what numbers represented? It's number 9 and 10. Can you see? It's this whole part plus that, the whole piece. Okay, so let's bring it down. We'll have a look. If I can find, that's it. It is 9 and 10. I hope you guys got that before I did. Hey? Looney is thinking, I can see the smoke coming out there. Can see the smoke.
It's late for me, hey?
It's not late for you, never. Name the structure numbered 11. What is, wait, let me do this. Name the structure number 11. Please remind me it's 11. Okay. Name the structure number 11 and the chromosome composition of the structure. What is chromosome composition? Remember whether it's got half the amount of chromosomes or not. Okay, so you've got diploid or haploid, 2N or N. Can you remember that? Okay, it wants to know which one is it. Okay, number 11. Stick with me. We can do this right. Where is it? Number 11. There it is. Number 11. It's this white dot floating down to Mother Earth to grow. Hey, what do you think, Looney? I had her intention and now I've lost her again. I'm starting to miss Looney. Number 11, what is it? It is a spore. Okay? It's a spore. It's going to make a new Gametophyte generation. And what is it? Now, remember, the Sporophyte generation is 2N. It goes through that process called meiosis to make a sex cell, which is a spore, which means we go from 2N and we halve it to make it N, and the name of N is haploid. So, let's have a look if we got this right. Spore and haploid, and it occurs during meiosis. Let's see. Okay, so it is a spore, 100%. Hey, what do you think? Okay, then it's haploid. Okay, I'm thinking I'm getting it right. And the last one went through meiosis. In a brain like mine must die one day. It scares me, hey? But I only get my answers because the guys are sending it. So don't think I'm too clever yet, right? Because you guys are sending it to me. That's the whole point. Now, last one. Well, not the last one, just the last one on this page. Okay? What is the main difference in structure between number 2 and a root hair? Okay, let's first go see what number 2 is. Number 2. There's 2. Okay? 2 are these little structures here again, and they're called rhizoids. Can you remember? And what's their job? To anchor and to absorb food and water, right? What is a root hair? Do you know what a root hair is?
Root hair.
What's a root?
A root is the foundation, the anchor.
Love the way you do that. The anchor of the plant, right?
Yes.
It's those funny things that go in the ground that soak up water. Now a root hair is like an arm and a hair, right? A root hair.
Okay.
Now a root hair also helps increase surface area so that it can be absorbed, right? So that's what a root hair does. But what is the difference between a rhizoid and a root hair? A rhizoid is made up of a lot of different cells, but a root hair is a single cell that's protruded out of the epidermis. It's a specialized epidermal cell, right? It comes out and it makes it's the single cell that comes out to increase the surface area on the epidermis, right? So that is, to me, that is the main difference of them. So let's see, right? Let's see. Rhizoid is multicellular, where a root hair is single cell. So let me underline that so you guys can remember it. It is multicellular. The rhizoid is multicellular, and a root hair is unicellular. Simple, easy, and 100% easy to get in a test. Okay, just concentrate and relax. Next question. Ooh, what is that? Hey, that looks like a flamingo with a beak. Now, what do you think?
No, it looks like a bird's finger. The top part.
Claw.
A claw.
Ah.
Bird's finger. What am I talking about?
That there
Yes.
is the Sporophyte generation of a boss at the top, and the bottom is the Gametophyte generation of the boss.
It's the English.
Yo, you're
It's
perfect.
going. It's going.
It's going south. Right, now let's have a look at it. First question. Identify the structure labeled 4. Ooh, what is this? Okay, it goes on top of the capsule right in the beginning so nothing can just fall out. Okay, now what do you think that is? I'm going to leave it. Send it to Looney. Let's see if Looney can get it. Okay, I'm going to leave that gray. So last thing I'm going to ask you this time. Okay, and leave it gray to see if you guys are concentrating and listening carefully. Just throw in an extra one there. Next one. What type of reproduction, so what type of reproductive body is formed in the part numbered 3. By which process is this formed? So number 3 is in here. Okay, they want to know what, there it is, what type of reproductive body, okay, is made there and by what process. Okay, first of all, we are making the gametes. Okay, we're making the gametes. How do we make gametes? We go through the process of meiosis. So let's see. Making of spores. Spores are what? They are your gametes. Okay, so you can say spores and you can say gametes. Okay, gametes would represent anything that reproduces. Okay, anything that does sexual reproduction. Okay, that would be gametes. Spores is just a specific word for the moss. Okay, so spores and meiosis. Don't forget my question. Okay, identify one. If I can get my pen. Identify one, name its function. Identify one and name its function. Identify one and name. Identify one and name its function. Come, Looney, can I see if you can do this? Identify one and name its function. Roots, nice. Okay, it's a thallus, which means it's not true roots, but it acts like roots. So what do roots do? What's the function? The anchor?
Yes, I was just about to say it, absorb water.
And absorb water. So we've got the function. Now we just need the name. Lily, can you give me the name, my girl?
What? The name of what now?
Of the non-true roots. Rhizome.
Yes.
Rhizome. Woo! I'm impressed with learning. Yes, my girl, that's perfect. Right?
Oh
So
my
rhizome,
gosh.
it anchors the plant and it absorbs nutrients and water. I have had an awesome day so far.
Yes.
Yeah? That's lovely. Next thing, write down the number of the part in which the drawing shows which represents the sporophyte. In other words, what part of is the sporophyte? So if we go up, which is the sporophyte, which is the gametophyte? Sporophyte and gametophyte. Which one's which? Now you can see they've got B and they've got A. So in other words, it divides like that. That's letters, am I right? They want you to know, is it letters, is it A or B, or is it 1, 2, 3, or 4? They want to know which one. Don't make that mistake. Because if I come down here and it says here, write down the number, and I go along and put the letter B, right? The letter B. Looney, hey, the letter B. I'm going to get a single-digit round number. Do you know what that is? Single-digit round number.
0.
0, good girl, right? This here is number 2. Simple, easy. Number 2.
I'm sure you've seen the walk together photo on our page. Please post a caption and like the captions that you think are best. The 3 captions with the most likes will each win a pair of tummy tackies. We'll post the winners on Friday, so get to liking and get all your friends to like too. Now it's time to take a break, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back from the break. I know you can't wait for the term to end and for the holidays to start. This year we bring you revision sessions from term 1 from the 28th of March till the 6th of April. These will be repeats of all the Learn Extra live shows from term 1. These programs will run from 9 a.m. in the morning till 7 p.m. at night. Go to our website learn.mindset.co.za for all the details. But for now, let's get back to the revision.
Let's have a look at this heart-shaped thing that's called a specific name, right? So heart shape, we need to know where it comes from, right? So let's have a look at the first question, because we need to have a look at questions. The first one, we get yellow going here. Oh, no, wait. Touch. Okay. It says there, what is the structure called? So we need to have a look at what this heart-shaped thing is called. That was the question I asked you. Can you remember? And it is called a prothallus. That thing there is a prothallus. It is, let me just check. It's a prothallus. So that's all we need to put down is prothallus. The reason why I didn't give you any more is because I know for a fact I'm going to ask the question again that I'm going to ask. Right, so let's see. The next one. Name the plant whose life cycle the structure forms, right, part of. So, in other words, they're asking you, this prothallus, where does it come from? Which plant does it belong to? Okay, now I've given a nice easy answer under there, but I'm going to tell you the big answer, okay? It comes from part of the pteridophytes. In other words, it comes to, see, that's the problem, the fern. Come on, comes to the fern. Okay, the fern is a pteridophyte. So it's not, these are nice and simple, right? So if I have a look at the next one, it says, is the structure haploid or diploid? Oh, big words, haploid and diploid. Dip means two, am I right? So make sure you remember, diploid means two, haploid means one. So haploid is half the amount of diploid. You with me? Okay, diploid is how many chromosomes are in every cell in our body. Haploid tells you it's the sex cells. It's half the amount of the chromosomes. Okay, so it's the quickest way I can tell you this. Okay, so I want to know, is the structure over here, is the structure haploid or diploid? In other words, if I put it in a nice, easy way of looking at it, is it the Gametophyte generation, or is it in the Sporophyte generation? And of course, come on, it is definitely in the Gametophyte generation. So it is haploid. Okay, it's a haploid figure, half the amount of chromosomes. Okay, next one. Identify the plant labeled 1, 2, 3. So 1 and 2 and 3. Not 1 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. If we go up, 1, we're looking at this part over here. So let me get my pen going. That part over there. 2, I'm looking at this specific part here. And 3, I'm looking at this specific part here. Okay, so 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now, if I bring it down, that piece there, right, that part there is between the top part of the heart shape, right? The other part is the top part of the heart, and the last one is the bottom part, not really the heart of this prothallus organism. So, if it comes down to the end, we've got the first one, which is its notch. It's the notch between, right, that little bendy part is the notch. The next one is the Archegonium, the female part where the female gametes are found, right? And the last one is the Andrecium, where we find the male part of the plant. Okay, so this is quite simple and nice and easy. Okay, the next one I'm having a look at, it says identify the part numbered 4 and state its function. Now, this is awesome because number 4 is these little hair-like structures. Can you see? Okay, now the hair-like structures, if I had to ask this question, right, you would get, what's that girl's name that gave me that answer that I said wasn't right? It was a prothallus.
I think it's Maria.
Maria gave me prothallus, hey?
Yes.
Now I'm looking for the other girl.
The other girl, okay, no, Maria gave you the rhizode.
That's it, but then it is Maria. Maria, now you give me that answer. Right, what are those hair-like structures? That is your answer. So now you've got it. Now you know what's the difference. Prothallus, the rhizoids, there it is. The rhizoids are found on the prothallus. Okay, the rhizoids are root-like structures. In other words, what is it used for? Okay, used for anchorage, and it's used for absorption of minerals and water. Okay, that is what a rhizoid is. It's little root-like structures. False roots, can you remember? Okay, so hopefully I've explained it to you. Right, now, the next one. Describe how fertilization, oh, this is going to be a long one. Describe how fertilization takes place in this structure. Now that is a very, very big answer. They want to know what actually happens. Okay, now, I'm going to go to the picture first before I explain this to you, right? Because this is the best way to do it, going all the way up again. Now, remember that this part here, I'm going to use green, right? This part here is the female, okay, is the male, right? And this part here is the female. Now, what actually happens is the sperm at the male, right, is held on by a cap, right? That cap releases the sperm, okay? And now the sperm has got to go to the female part, to this part over here. Okay, it's got to swim up there. But how does it know where to go to? Right? In this part here, in the female part over here, is a little tunnel before the female part here at the bottom. Okay? And that tunnel is very important because it protects that female Archegonium, right? It protects that seed, right? That female part, right? It protects it nicely. But that tube has got another function. That tube secretes this mucousy type of stuff, right? And as it's secreted, right, this sperm can actually pick it up, and it actually tells the sperm, yeah, but come this way, you know? Yeah, it's here. That's what it's trying to say. You understand? So that's its job, that little tunnel-like thing. And then, of course, the sperm will swim because it needs water all the way up to there. It'll go inside, and fertilization will take place. Right, so that is in a nice, simple way of explaining it to you, and hope you can understand that. Right? So let's go back and have a look at this answer to make sure I know what I'm talking about. Right? Here we go. Simple and easy. I say to you, there is a cap, a cell cap, that holds the andrecium, right? It holds it so that it doesn't go anywhere until it's time. Okay? It breaks off, it dislodges, is a bigger word, a nice word. It breaks off and it gets released, right? The neck canal cells, in other words, is the little canal, right? Those cells of the Archegonium secretes a slimy substance which attracts the sperm, nice and easy. It attracts the sperm, and the sperm will swim down the neck canal and fuse with the egg cell to form a diploid zygote. See, you must learn to understand it. You must picture it. You must understand it. And once you've understood it, right, then comes the way to put it into words. You need to be able to do both. If you can understand the question and understand what's going on, you must be able to put it to paper. So when you're studying, make sure you do both. It's pointless just reading, okay, I understand it. But can you put it onto paper? Okay, because me, I'm not sitting that exam marking you while you're busy writing. Okay, I'll mark you afterwards, so I don't know how you're thinking. You must be able to put it down onto paper that I can understand. Right, and for the record, I don't know about how your educators do it, but me, I say to my kids, when I mark your papers, I do not understand life science. Hey, Abram? I do not understand it. I am like nothing upstairs, nothing, right? So you are trying to tell me what life science is about. Okay, so you must give me the facts. You must make me understand it. The better you write that I can understand it, the better marks you get. Hey, can you see it in that way? It's simple. Right, yeah, but you got to get it right. That's the problem. Right, that's the problem. So I am clever, but I'm not. Right, so let's have a look at the next question. Okay, the next question, it's also on this picture, right? And it says, is this method of reproduction, so is this method of reproduction suitable for successful survival on land? And explain your answer. So, is it suitable to live on land? That's the first question. That'll be for 1 mark. You answer that question first. You have to. Am I a male? Explain your answer. You got to say, yes, I'm a male. If you just explain why I'm a male, you're only going to get the marks for explaining the male. You're not going to tell me or give me the answer of the first question. First question is this method of reproduction suitable, right, for successful survival on land? And the answer is, of course, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't be on land. Of course it is. And the main reason for that is the Archegonia, right, is nice and high up, and it's protected. Well, not high up. It's protected inside. So remember, you got those cells. And those cells protect it quite nicely. Okay, so let's have a look at it. Right, we bring it down. It is suitable for survival on land. Answered the first question. Right, and then it says, the Archegonium is sunken, giving it a greater protection for the egg. It's sunken so that it's protected. The more you protect it, the more chance you have of surviving. Right, if I bring this down, let's have a look at the first one. Some yellow going there. It says, name the parts A to C. Okay, so let me get to what's name? Let's see, A, B, and C. There they are. So A is pointing to this part, B is pointing to that part, and C is pointing, well, it should be going all the way to that part. Now, I'm lying. C is definitely, let me erase there. C is definitely pointing to the right spot. Right? If we have a look at it, A is the top. Okay? It's the, come on. It's the stigma, the style, and the sepal. Let's see. Stigma is the top part of the female, right? The style, there it is, the top part. The style is this like long tube, right? And remember I said to you, you've got those green things on the outside of the flower. Remember it was closed in the beginning and then they opened up and they ended off right at the bottom, right? One of those things are called the sepal. Nice, easy, and you guys can do this quite easily. Right, so that was the first question. If I have a look at the next one, where is, okay, that's the first thing you're going to look at. Where is, so it's going to ask you for a specific place, okay? So where is the male gametes and, because it's one question, it's two questions in one, and the female gametes found in flowering plants, okay? Let's see. Flowering plants, where are the males found, where are the females found? Now, please understand, it says gametes, okay? There's the word that's going to confuse you, gametes. Because if I had a look at it, right, and I didn't read it properly, I would have said the males are found on the outside, outside before the petals, and the females are found in the middle. Am I right? That's what you would think. They didn't ask for the andrecium and the gynecium. They asked for the male part and the female part. Okay? Now the male part, if I had to look at this piece here, the male part, ooh, come on, the male part looks like that, and on top of these, right, is little yellow, I want to just make sure that you see it again. There it is, that part, right? If I have a look at those little yellow parts, those are called pollen grains, right? And inside the pollen grain is where you find the male gamete. So let's have a look at it. The male gametes are found on the anther, right, in the pollen grains. Do you understand? The female part of the plant, right, the female gametes, is not found here on this pistil, right? It's not found in that. The female parts are found here in the ovary. Okay? Female part is found in the ovary, not in this whole piece. You understand where I'm coming from? Right, so let's see the answer of this. There it is. The anther is found on the male gametes are found on the anther. So, like I said, on the anther, inside the pollen grain. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit more in there for you. Okay, the next thing, the female part is found in the ovary. Easy, simple. Okay, now, let's have a look at the next one. It says, are these structures haploid or diploid? Now, that is a quite a cool question, because this structure, anther and ovary, are they haploid or diploid? Now, what is the difference between that? Remember, every cell in the body, right, and in the plant, is a diploid cell. The only cell that is a haploid is your gametes. Okay? Now, think about the question carefully. They said, where are the gametes found? So, where are the male gametes found? Where are the female gametes found? And you said, anther an ovary. Next question is, are these structures haploid or diploid? So they're looking at the structures. They're not looking at the gametes. And of course, they are diploid. They make haploid cells, but they are physically diploid. Okay, so let's have a look. You see, 2 seconds of non-concentration and I forget to change pens. There we go. Let's see. It says there, right? It says the structures are diploid, but they produce haploid structures. So the gametes are made by them, but they are physically diploid, or 2N.
We've come to the end of our show. Thank you so much, Mindsetters, for joining me and for chatting to me during the show. Remember to visit our website, learn.mindset.co.za, to get your notes and to watch the videos from the term. Goodbye.